Our story opens in a quaint village in China. A young girl was playing by the lakeside while her father got ready to fish. He waded into the water with his net. His daughter started crying, upset that her father would go into the water to work and leave her all alone. So, he came back out of the water, sat down, and started playing with her, making silly faces and movements that made the girl giggle and feel joyful. Out of nowhere, her father began to convulse in the water. Something from below the surface was gripping him and pulling him down. The little girl continued to laugh, thinking her father was still joking around with her. She was unaware of the danger until he vanished, and only blood surfaced. The girl erupted in tears, and the villagers quickly gathered and called for a demon hunter. The demon hunter chanted some incantations and hurled a bomb into the water, leading to a massive explosion. The villagers stood nervously as a giant manta ray floated to the top. The hunter announced that a demon had possessed the fish and that this was the creature responsible for the man's death. The villagers expressed their gratitude to the hunter for defeating the monster, but one man among them interjected, claiming that the being was not a demon at all. That man's name was Tang, and he too was a skilled demon hunter. When the other demon hunter heard Tang's viewpoint, he immediately attacked him, accusing him of colluding with demons. The villagers then turned violently against Tang, binding him and hanging him as punishment. Thinking the water was safe now, they all jumped in to swim. Tang, still tied up, observed in frustration. However, the villagers' celebration was soon interrupted when a monster emerged and devoured a woman whole. The villagers panicked and fled, believing they would be safe on land, but they were mistaken. The monster began to pursue them with its tongue. The little girl tried to run toward her mother, but the monster extended its tongue to seize her. The villagers pulled with all their might and managed to tear off the monster's tongue, holding the girl by the edge of the bridge. But then, the monster lunged and swallowed the girl whole. Her mother succumbed to despair and jumped into the water, frantically attempting to rescue her daughter. Meanwhile, Tang was struggling to gnaw through the ropes holding him. The mother stood frozen in fear when she confronted the enormous monster in the water. It glared at her with rage as she pleaded for her daughter's return. Naturally, the monster ignored her. It consumed her and wreaked havoc, toppling buildings and causing the villagers to lose their footing and fall. One little boy slipped toward the lake, but fortunately, Tang had just freed himself. He leaped onto the bridge and onto a wooden plank, allowing the boy to slide in his direction. Tang caught the boy just in time as the monster emerged. Using the monster's own weight against it, Tang managed to escape at the last moment. The creature got trapped on the plank, and Tang jumped to safety with the child, bringing him back to his mother. In the meantime, the counterfeit demon hunter was cowering among the crowd. Suddenly, a gigantic woman, frightened, attempted to flee, but her mass made each step tremble the ground like seismic activity. She leaped at the beast, landing on the platform and propelling the creature into the air. The creature came crashing down directly onto the fake demon hunter, just as he was about to escape. Now that it was out of the water, the monster started to perish. Abruptly, it morphed into an ordinary young man who seemed completely harmless. The villagers, still filled with rage, were intent on killing him. However, Tang intervened, saying, "I have a better idea." He produced musical instruments along with a book of songs, gearing up to use his musical abilities to transform the evil within the young man into goodness. Tang began to sing, but his voice was so awful that it left both the young man and the villagers perplexed. Even his lyrics and performance were executed so poorly that the demon youth nearly lost his mind. In a fit of rage, he violently lashed out at Tang, smashing everything in his vicinity. Just before he could end Tang's life, a woman appeared. She seized the young man by his hair, dragged him down, and subdued him. Then she captured the demon in a magical bag, changing it into a small toy. This woman was named Duan, and she turned out to be another demon hunter. Tang displayed his demon-fighting equipment to her, but Duan laughed in response. The villagers expressed their gratitude to her for saving them. Tang felt ashamed and wept due to his failure, but his master consoled him, saying, "Don't be disheartened. It's truly challenging to convert evil into good." He also informed him that there was yet another demon to vanquish, one that resided in a nearby restaurant and served human flesh as food. That evening, Tang arrived at the restaurant and noticed numerous patrons relishing their meals. A woman greeted him and showed him around the establishment. However, Tang was able to see through her disguise. He declared, "Reveal your true self." The demon within her surfaced, poised to attack him. But once again, Duan appeared just in time, rescued Tang, and battled the female demon until she ultimately triumphed, reducing her to ashes. Duan then began to assault every demon in the restaurant, defeating them all with the help of her rings. In a fit of anger, she demanded the restaurant's head to come forward. Meanwhile, a young man stealthily approached from behind to strike, but Duan noticed him instantly and retaliated. The two engaged in combat, exchanging blows, but Duan maintained the advantage and was able to overpower him. She summoned several rings and launched them at the demon, targeting his face. The rings sliced into his skin until a pig's snout emerged on his countenance. The demon grabbed a shovel and deflected all of her strikes, drawing closer and closer to Duan. Then he sprang into the air, aiming to attack her with the shovel. Duan, expending all her might, attempted to defend herself by pulling out smaller rings to block his assault, but they weren't durable enough. The shovel came crashing down onto her body. She swiftly evaded being killed, then leaped behind the demon, seized him by the neck, and delivered a kick. His true face was revealed, exposing that he was a demon masquerading as a pig. Duan tightly gripped the demon's arms, preventing him from moving, and called for Tang to assist her in capturing him. The demon responded just as he had previously, and it was Tang's role to absorb the pig demon's soul. Tang struggled to muster the bravery needed to complete the mission. However, upon seeing the demon's grotesque face, he faltered. In a moment of mishap, Tang stumbled onto the demon's face and nearly kissed him, causing the demon's soul to enter his mouth. Quickly, Duan extracted the demon's soul from Tang's mouth and sealed it within her magical sack. Nevertheless, this demon was far too formidable, and the magical sack couldn't contain him. He expanded until he transformed into a giant pig. As the building crumbled behind them, Tang and Duan fled. They finally escaped to a nearby lake, where Duan began to suffer from her injury. She removed her clothing in front of Tang and asked him to press on her wound to stop the bleeding. Tang complied without a moment's thought, but his mind soon drifted, and he forgot about her bleeding. Duan shut her eyes, anticipating a kiss from Tang, but it never came. He remembered his role as a monk and left her side. The following day, Tang approached his master to confess his failure once more. His master informed him that to defeat the pig demon, he required assistance from the king of demons, Wukong. 500 years ago, all the demon hunters had imprisoned Wukong beneath a massive mountain. That night, Tang ventured to the mountain but unexpectedly fell into a trap set by 5 individuals. It turned out these 5 were allied with Duan. Duan aimed to compel Tang to marry her, but he declined, expressing that, as a monk, his duty was to love everyone equally. He couldn't prioritize a wife over all others. Duan became furious at his response, ordered him to be confined, and sat down to devise a plan to make him love her. Her sister advised her to adopt a more feminine approach and dance in order to capture his attention. Duan attempted to dance, but she did so poorly. Subsequently, her sister cast a spell on her to enhance her dancing, making her more appealing to Tang. Duan approached Tang's cell, but the plan went awry, and the spell malfunctioned, causing her to strike Tang uncontrollably. By chance, the spell then transferred to Tang instead. Duan's sister began her scheme outside, and as she danced, Tang's body started moving in harmony with hers. The guard observed him dancing, ridiculing him as he also began to remove his clothes while dancing. They rushed in to assault him, but Duan's sister intervened, halted them, and clarified what had transpired. Amidst all this turmoil, the pig demon returned. The entire group jumped into their cart and attempted to flee, but the demon pursued them. When Duan saw him closing in, she pushed Tang out of the cart just as the pig crashed into it, destroying it. Thankfully, no one suffered serious injuries from the wreckage. However, the demon surrounded them, intent on exacting revenge for what Tang and Duan had done to him. Suddenly, a figure appeared, emanating the aura of a tiger, and began attacking the demon, managing to overpower it. He hoists the pig into the air and kicks it, compelling the pig to escape before it meets its end. It is revealed that this man is also a demon hunter, accompanied by an elderly man known as Mighty Foot, along with a prince and his 4 maids who incessantly shower him with flowers. The prince states that the 3 of them have come to confront the pig demon and eliminate it. Tang becomes upset upon hearing this and tells them, "You pursue demon hunting only for monetary gain and to flaunt your abilities. You are not true demon hunters." He then demands Duan return his book of songs. He scolds her for squandering his time. Angered, Duan pulls out the book and tears it to shreds in front of Tang, fiercely declaring, "You are nothing without me. If it weren't for me, the entire province would have perished long ago." Tang rises without a word, watching Duan as she attempts to flirt with the prince to provoke his jealousy, but he simply walks away while Duan looks at him in disappointment. After a lengthy journey, Tang finally arrives at the mount, which is adorned with lotus flowers. Although the lake is completely dry, he notices a giant lotus flower descending from a massive hole. Upon entering the hole, he encounters a wild-looking man who hugs and kisses him. Tang recognizes this must be Wukong, the person his master mentioned. He requests Wukong's assistance in defeating the pig demon, but the man is solely focused on escaping the place. He attempts to deceive Tang into breaking the spell that confines him, asserting, "I can eliminate the pig demon," but Tang sees through the ruse and declines to free him. In desperation, Wukong tries to flee the cave but fails. The restraints shock him with electricity and whip him for his disobedience. Feeling sympathy for the man, Tang offers him a banana to eat. The man calms down somewhat since he hasn't eaten in quite a while. He then reveals to Tang the method to defeat the pig demon. The pig demon was deeply in love with his wife, so they needed a beautiful woman to dance beneath the moonlight. This woman would entice the pig demon into the cave, where they could ensnare him. Just then, Duan enters the cave after overhearing their strategy and volunteers to act as the bait for the pig demon by dancing under the moonlight. Tang disapproves and asks her to leave while Wukong flirts with her and begins to show her how to dance. In that moment, Tang realizes he truly loves Duan as he feels jealous watching Wukong dance with her. That night, Duan dances under the moonlight while Tang provides music for her. As he witnesses her dance, Tang falls more in love with her. Suddenly, they hear a sound in the distance. The pig demon has arrived. Wukong starts conversing with the pig from inside the cave. The pig pokes its head in, eager to enter, and unwittingly walks all the way in due to the magical seal. With Duan's talent, she transforms the pig demon into a toy and hands Tang both demon toys so he can utilize his musical method to attempt to convert evil into good. She places a ring on Tang's finger, wishing for marriage, but Tang becomes upset and rejects the notion. He would prefer to sever his finger than to be in a relationship. When Duan observed his response, she took the ring back and returned his music book after repairing it. However, Tang became even angrier and refused to accept the book. Following this, Wan was hurt by his actions, felt insulted, and walked away in tears, vowing to never see him again. Tang then exited the cave and gazed mournfully at the moonlight. Realizing his genuine feelings for her, he heard Wukong calling from inside the cave, asking for his help in removing the mercury flower that was obscuring the moon's light. When Tang did so, he discovered that the flower ignited. Soon, all the flowers in the area caught fire, leading to the collapse of the cave. Wukong, still trapped below, laughed as he was freed, transforming into a fireball that descended before Tang. He grabbed Tang, tossed him, and then caught him again before he could fall, laughing at how he tricked Tang into liberating him. Tang addressed the Demon King, saying, "You cannot escape because the Buddha King watches over everything." However, Wukong became enraged, seized Tang's hair, and pulled it out until not a single hair remained. He was frustrated because Tang's resolve remained steadfast. Suddenly, the Demon King sensed someone behind him. When he turned around, he saw the 3 hunters had arrived. The Northern King prepared to strike the Demon King, but Wukong quickly jumped on him and killed him instantly. Mightyfoot witnessed the event, transforming into a massive figure and attacking the Demon King, knocking him down. Mightyfoot then leapt into the air and came crashing down on Wukong. However, the Demon King struck his leg and then jumped again to hit Mightyfoot again, finishing him off and tossing him toward the prince. The prince instructed his attendants to carry the elderly man away. He then began to use his powers, launching countless swords at the Demon King. Wukong was forced to take to the skies to evade, but the weapons pursued him relentlessly, striking him no matter where he went. The Demon King drew his weapon, starting to shatter the swords. However, the prince gathered all the swords into one and attacked the Demon King with it. The blow was so potent that it shattered the demon's staff. Yet, as the sword struck, it too shattered into fragments. The prince unleashed destructive sound waves, and from behind them emerged a brilliant aura and a massive gorilla. The sound waves disintegrated the prince into dust. The demon then turned his attention to Tang, but suddenly Duan appeared, attacking the demon and defending Tang despite all that he had said. She continued to strike Wukong with her rings, but they all vanished upon contact. She charged at Wukong to attack, but he easily halted her, slapped her across the face, and hurled her far away. Tang rushed to Duan, deeply troubled for her. She whispered, "Do you love me?" Tang cried, confessing that he had loved her from the very first moment they met. Duan passed away with tears in her eyes after hearing Tang's admission. Tang took the ring from her and put it on. Wukong seized his body, launched him into the air, and exploded him into 1,000,000 pieces. The demon suddenly sensed a disturbance and took a step back. He noticed that Tang had detached from his human state and started to read the book that Duan had mended, reciting the text it contained. A gigantic Buddha statue materialized, looking down on the planet. That enormous statue reached out its palm toward the earth, triggering a significant earthquake as its hand penetrated the atmosphere, with its palm glowing with fire. Observing this, Wukong refused to give in. He summoned all his might to counter the attack, transforming his form into King Kong and roaring fiercely. The Buddha's palm inched closer to the demon. Wukong fought hard to withstand it, enduring the immense pressure. However, he lacked the strength to match their ruler. Wukong was ultimately overcome. He was cast into another dimension. After Tong finally triumphed over him, Tong removed Duan's ring and affixed it to the demon's head, making the demon both a disciple and a servant. Upon realizing Tong's actions, he said to him, "Now you are prepared to journey west and retrieve the sacred scriptures from India." Tong then set off with the demons he had subdued. Those whose wickedness had been transformed into righteousness now became his followers. The four of them commenced their expedition together. And with this, we conclude the episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.